It was supposed to be a music documentary. Concert footage, interviews.
I asked my best friend to direct it.
Just be yourself.
I love you!
Hoping to get a little after-show footage.
Y'all just did. Read them and weep.
The disparity between real life and who you are on stage is jarring.
I can be St. Vincent all the time.
This is how actors play rock stars in movies.
Yeah, but you are a rock star. Stars like
I love you, but I'm married to the road.
Here at the nowhere inn, where our last days have spent.
We're in this together. Me and me.
I don't think I know what we're doing.
What story did you think we were trying to tell?
Your story.
Of course. This is my story.
Hi, it's Anthony, Allen Ramos from GLAAD. Annie, how are you? Okay, September 17th, finally, the world is going to get to see The Nowhere Inn. It is such a mind trip in the best way, I would say. And I have so many questions, but I guess my first question is, tell me about the decision with you and Carrie when you decided this was kind of the avenue you wanted to go with this kind of documentary, mockumentary. Some of it's real, some of it's not. Tell me, because it's very original.
Thank you. Well, the genesis of it was that I was on tour for my last record, Mass Seduction, and I wanted to make some kind of a concert film. I wanted to get the shows actually really recorded and recorded well, because, you know, they only kind of happen and then they're gone. So I asked Carrie if she would help me write some interstitial pieces between songs that would kind of loosely tie the narrative together. Carrie's so brilliant, and we just started talking about it, and it dovetailed into a lot of conversations that we've been having forever, which is what, you know, why do you want to see behind the mask? You can perform authenticity, you know, the mythology and everything about artistry. So we were like, well, this is actually an interesting way to get to explore all the conversations we've been having in a scripted form that really kind of gets at the heart of, you know, musician documentary, pop star documentary. Mm-hmm. Puts a little spin on it. So we wrote it and made a bananas film.
Yeah, I mean, just so everyone's aware, you produced it with Carrie, you wrote it with Carrie. Obviously, you star in it as a heightened version of yourself, I guess we could say. I mean, I guess we don't really know. Is it really you? I mean, who knows? We'll never know. But I think one of the most interesting things about it is it really brings up topics around identity, persona, fame. And I think for you who, you know, been doing this for so long, almost 20 years, how would you say fame, is that right? I mean, it's like, you know,
it is right, but it just feels a little aggressive when you say it.
I know, but no, I mean, I've been listening to you for a long time, so I love it. But, you know, with fame, I think, you know, social media, it completely changes the game. And it's like, I feel like there's this weird reality with celebrities now that they have access to everyone right away. So how would you say that the fame game has changed since you kind of burst onto the scene?
Oh, so different. It's so different. I mean, I've had the luxury of having a career where with every record I put out, you know, I got a little bit more successful, a little bit more people knew who I was. And that's kind of been my trajectory. I didn't really have like a big burst and a sharp decline, you know, luckily, knock on wood. So I've been able to kind of learn how to be a person in the midst of getting better at my job. So that's good, because I think when people get incredibly famous, they sort of stop growing emotionally at whatever the age they are when they get incredibly famous, because it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, I've been privy to, you know, just, I think people kind of, unless they're incredibly grounded, can kind of float off into outer space. I think where I was always coming at it from was like, I want to make music that's great. I want to put on shows that are great. I want to be like my heroes. I want to be like, you know, Bowie Stevie Wonder and Joni. I want to make stuff that I think is great. That is a lifelong game. You will never be satisfied, and you'll never, live up to your heroes. But I wanted to be known for doing things that I was good at. And with social media, it's a bit more that you can just be known to be known. Mm-hmm. And I'm not like great at it. Like, I'm not great at it because I'm not great at it because I think, well, why would anybody want to see this? It's just like me, like walking down the street, like who cares? But that is the currency.
Yeah. What would you say to any queer kids out there that might be, social media right now is an easy place to get lost in. So much of it is just a highlight reel of what, you want people to see. What advice do you have for any, queer youth out there that might be overwhelmed or, might be struggling with it all?
I would say that as much as it seems real, it's not real. Like, what's real is your friendships and your like deep connections with people. Not that you can't meet people online and foster those connections, but what's real is like what's in your heart and who you are and what you love. You kind of are what you love. So I would say to just nurture those things, because in my experience, and again, as you mentioned, I'm 65, but in my experience, I'm never like happier after I look at social media. I'm never like, oh my God, I'm so glad I looked at Instagram first thing in the morning. I'm never happier.
Right. No, that's a really good point. Thank you for sharing that. Thinking back on the film, it is not a spoiler that Dakota Johnson plays your girlfriend. We know that. I just have got to know, because how did you manage to get her to do that? Because it's a lot of convince. I mean, there's lingerie involved. It's a very interesting premise. How did you sell her on that? Because there are some very good scenes with you and Dakota Johnson.
Ridiculous. I bless her for doing it. I mean, I'd been talking about making the movie for a while, and I was like, Dakota, if we make this movie, will you please play my girlfriend? And she said yes. She was very gracious. But at that point, we hadn't necessarily like written the movie. It was just, we kind of knew that we were going to need her character deeply involved. And then we wrote the movie, and there's a scene where I very cravenly am like, oh, I know what's going to get me more successful is I'll make a sex tape. I mean, it's ridiculous. But luckily from 50 Shades of Grey, she was very comfortable in lingerie.
I thought of that too. Yeah.
Great. She's, I think we're both making fun of ourselves a little bit. And just bless her for doing it. I mean, it was a big ask. It was a big
It's so fun. I mean, those scenes are so good. And it's not just the sex tape scene, there's other ones. But, thinking about that, you mentioned how like as you become more public, I guess more famous with every album, have you gotten used to kind of that interest that people have on who you actually date in real life? I mean, because it's got to be tricky to navigate that and not, get overwhelmed by all that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I totally get it. I get the curiosity for sure. I think like, especially in the past 4 or 5 years, I'm pretty grounded and like pretty chill. So there's not much, salacious shit to know.
Exactly. But I think I've seen the film. I know a couple of my friends in the biz got to see it at Sundance, and a lot of people are thinking now, because like I said, you are acting, it is scripted, but it's a fictionalized version of yourself. People think that you should actually like do some more acting now, play some actual other like fictitious roles. Are you down? Is that in the cards? What do you think of all that?
Oh my gosh, it's so funny that you would say that. That's crazy. I just no, Carrie and I were laughing. No, I really enjoyed acting, and it didn't occur to me. I didn't study or learn or really do any preparation to play this role. And only it really occurred to me a couple days before we started principal photography, like, oh, can I act? And I was like, I don't know, you know, but that's how I approach all things. Can I do this? I have no idea. Let's just fucking find out. So, and this worked out pretty well, pretty well in life. But I like it. I do like it. After the first few days of shooting, Carrie obviously is an actor and had her own show, you know, she's well versed in the sort of being the star on set. And it was new to me, that kind of thing. And for about 24 hours in the first week of shooting, I was like, well, I guess I'm a movie star now. I guess that's just this is my life. I came down, don't worry, I came down.
I know, I mean, I think I'm here for it. And like, I think a lot of us, I mean, from the opening scene, I instantly was like, oh my gosh, I'm having Mulholland Drive vibes, which I think, you know, being compared to Lynch is a compliment. Do you like that? Because I think there's some definite stuff that evokes that kind of, you know, twisty stuff in there. What's your reaction to some people kind of giving it the David Lynch vibes?
Oh, sure. I think that's totally fair. I think Nicholas Roeg, totally fair. I think we were really into the film performance. And yeah, I think that's totally fair. I mean, it's stylistically, the film goes a lot of places. Narratively, tonally, the film goes a lot of places. It's bananas, you know? So no, I'll totally take that. I think the sort of time, the dream logic time collapse definitely is part of it.
I love that. And I was thinking about this, such a great busy time for you. September 17th, this film comes out. I know you're getting ready to hit the road again. How forward are you looking to kind of being able to do these shows, a lot of them outdoors, and connecting with the fans again? Because we have missed seeing you.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. We just wrapped rehearsals and production rehearsals, and I'm so excited to bring people this show, which maybe no surprise, goes a lot of places. And just the energy of me and a couple thousand people in a room, like dreaming the same dream for an hour and a half, is really powerful. And there's nothing like it in day-to-day life. I mean, I'm sure you could like sort of get there with drugs, but like not consistently, and you're like hungover. So there's no way to like get there like this without just being in the room and just feeling the energy of a bunch of people. And music, I mean, music is actually like magic. So I can't wait.
It is magic. And I love that we get the music from you in the film too. Before I let you go, you know, at GLAAD, we're doing a lot of work to really draw attention to some of the, you know, unfortunate legislature that's happening for LGBTQ youth in various states. I know Oklahoma is one of those states. So what would you say to any of those people in Oklahoma or any of the other states that think that limiting LGBTQ rights, especially for the youth, is something that they want to do?
I would say that there's nothing wrong with you. You're wonderful, and the world is wrong in this case. And it's gonna turn around, it's gonna change. But just know that there's nothing wrong with you. You're wonderful.
Awesome. Well, Annie, thank you so much for that. And thank you for this film. It is, my mind has been stuck on it since I watched it. So everyone, be sure and check it out. September 17th in theaters. And if you can't check it out in theaters, it will also be available digitally on demand September 17th. So set your calendars. And if you can, snatch up some of St. Vincent's concert tickets. I know I will be there in LA. So yeah, absolutely. So very nice to meet you, and congrats on the film. And I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.